one of the oldest legends spoke of hope goo. According to legends, when the world was formed, everywhere was just savage land overrun by beasts. There was a first human being named Ren Zu, the human ancestor. He ate raw and slept in caves, living a hard life. Not making his life easy, there were these beasts, called the predicaments. They loved the taste of Ren Zu's flesh and had always been trying to eat him. The human ancestor did not have a strong hard body made of stones, nor did he have claws and fangs like beasts. How could he possibly fight against the predicaments? He had to hide constantly, not knowing when, or if his next meal would ever come. He was at the bottom of nature's food chain, barely getting it by. Then, there were 3 goo that came up to him and said,
"As long as you use your life to feed us, we will help you get through the tough times."
The human ancestor was desperate, so he accepted the 3 goo's terms. He first gave his youth away to the biggest goo among the 3. That goo then granted him strength. With strength, the human ancestor's life began to improve. He started to have a stable food source and power to protect himself. He enjoyed fighting ruthlessly, defeating many predicaments in his wake. However, he eventually realized that strength was not omnipotent. It needed rest to replenish and training to develop, not to be spent haphazardly at will. Not to mention, when facing an entire herd of predicaments, his individual strength was truly insignificant. Ren Zu learned from his painful experience and decided to give the prime years of his life to the most beautiful goo among the 3, and the second goo then gave him wisdom. With wisdom, the human ancestor was able to learn how to ponder and self-reflect, accumulating experiences. He discovered that many times, using wisdom was more effective than using strength. With strength and wisdom, he achieved many things that he could not before, killing many predicaments, eating their meat and drinking their blood to survive. However, his happy days did not last long, as Ren Zu was old, and would only grow older. Both his youth and prime years were given to strength goo and wisdom goo. When a man got old, his body would wither and his thoughts would stagnate.
"Human, what else can you give us? You don't have anything else left to offer us."
Once they realized that very one point, both strength goo and wisdom goo left him. Without wisdom and strength, the human ancestor was spotted and quickly surrounded by predicaments. He was too old to run. Most of his teeth had fallen out and could barely chew wild fruits and vegetables. Powerless, he collapsed, surrounded by predicaments. His heart was filled with desperation. It was at this moment that the 3rd goo said to him,
"Human, serve me. I could help you escape the predicaments."
Tears were falling from his eyes.
"Oh goo, what can I possibly have left to give you? You see, strength goo and wisdom goo had both abandoned me, taking away my youth and prime years. I only have my old age left. These years might not be worth as much when compared against my youth and prime, but if I were to serve you my last few years, my life would immediately come to an end. Though I am surrounded by predicaments right now, at least I would not be dying just yet. I wanted to live for just a bit more, even if it was only a second. Therefore, you should go. I have nothing to offer you."
Of the 3, my need is the smallest. Human, you only have to give me your heart.
"Then I will give you my heart. But goo, what can you give me in return? I am surrounded. Even if strength goo and wisdom goo were to return to me now, they would not have been able to make any difference."
Compared to strength goo, hope goo looked frail and weak, being only a tiny spot of dim white light, not at all as glamorous as wisdom goo. But when the human ancestor gave it his heart, this goo suddenly gave out endless lights. Basking in the glow, the predicaments screamed in horror.
"This is hope goo, run. We predicaments are most afraid of hope."
The predicaments retreated to Ren Zu's surprise, and from that day onwards whenever he faced predicaments, the human ancestor would give his heart to hope.